Angels help you get a cereal box down from the almost unreachable top shelf. Demons leave their shopping carts in the middle of the parking lot. But enough about my trip to the grocery store. Today I'm talking about a literary battle of good and evil. Novels with angels and demons. So let's check out some celestial and sinister characters in a few good books. And don't forget that liking this video and subscribing to my channel are both heavenly acts. With beautiful poetic writing and two contrasting main characters, one a demon and the other a fallen angel, The City in Glass is a joy to read. Vitrine is a demon who's been playing city planner for thousands of years. And honestly, this demon's got a good heart because Vitrine legitimately cares about the city's residents, cherishing their stories and their secrets. But then a flock of angels shows up and they ruin pretty much everything that Vitrine built up, and it turns this demon's paradise into rubble. But Vitrine gets the last laugh by cursing one of the angels and trapping it on Earth forever. The book then comes this super compelling hate to maybe not so hate relationship growth between Vitrine and the angel. As Vitrine slowly rebuilds the city, the angel's stuck there just watching and waiting, and the two go from enemies to something way more complicated. The second book I want to talk about is When Among Crows, and this novella takes Slavic folklore into the dark back alleys of Chicago and gives it a kind of sinister makeover. We're talking demons, banshees, and a quest to find the legendary witch Baba Yaga. Demeter is the main character in this one, and he's a monster hunter with a mission and a major deadline to get it done by. But he can't do it alone, so he recruits a crew that includes Allah, this fierce enemy of his, who's cursed by her own bloodline, and also Nico, who's a demon with a personal agenda. And what makes the story so great isn't just the breakneck pace or the brilliantly efficient world building, it's the heart. Because between the vampire fights and the demon deals, this story digs deep into pain, anger, and the messy, complicated road to redemption. Next up is The Adventures of Amina al-Sirafi, and Amina is a retired pirate who's quietly raising her daughter, and that's until she's offered the chance to make one last big score, and because she finds a mega wealthy old lady who offers Amina riches beyond her wildest dreams if she finds the old woman's missing granddaughter and brings her home. So of course Amina caves into this temptation of both securing her daughter's future with this money and also scratching that decades-old itch for the open sea and a good old-fashioned adventure. But first Amina has to track down her old ship, assemble a crew, and sail into extremely dangerous waters. The kind that includes evil sorcerers, demon husbands, and magic that starts to slowly build over the course of the book. And what's so great about this one is that Amina isn't a flawless hero. She's rusty, she's unlucky, and she's never totally in control of what's happening in the story. But her cleverness, her gift for reading people, and she has this stubborn hope that just kind of keeps you rooting for her. It keeps you along for the ride with every twist and turn. Next up is The Monster of Elendhaven, and this type of book isn't something I normally read. It's gory, atmospheric, it's a horror novella with the main characters being Johan, who's a really unlikable serial killer, who's also called a demon, I think, and Florian, who's this sorcerer skilled in dark magic. Now these two different kinds of monsters that these characters are feature heavily in a dark fantasy novel that feels like the sick, twisted cousin of something Edgar Allan Poe might write. I mean, the magical mass murderer in this book and his evil buddy really gave me the heebie-jeebies. So if you want a gruesome story with blatant brutality that you can read in a weekend, this fits the bill perfectly. Again, it's not usually my cup of tea, but for someone who likes horror or darker books, this one with a demon-like character is pretty good. And let's move on to something a little happier, something a little funnier. The Screwtape Letters by C.S. Lewis, which is a satirical novel from the early 1940s, way back when, featuring a senior demon named Screwtape writing letters to his nephew Wormwood. But the contents of the letters they're different. They're different to say the least, because Screwtape is giving his nephew advice on how to tempt a human soul away from God and towards hell. And through these letters, C.S. Lewis is exploring these themes of temptation, of faith, and the subtle ways that evil can influence human behavior. It's thought-provoking, but also downright hilarious, as a lot of Screwtape's tips and tricks for temptation are as relevant today as they were 80 years ago when the book was first written. And last on my list is Thistlefoot. And in this one, two siblings, Bellatine and Isaac, are descendants of the infamous Russian witch Baba Yaga, who has left them an inheritance. It's her living house on chicken legs. And together, the two siblings turn this house into something incredible. They turn it into this traveling puppet theater that's equal parts magic and memory. But hot on Thistlefoot's heels is the Long Shadow Man, and he's this relentless, demonic villain who feeds on pain and fear. Luckily, the Yaga siblings aren't defenseless. Each of them has the spark of their grandmother's power inside them, if, that is, they can figure out how to use it. And some of the best parts of this book come not from the magic, but from the puppetry scenes. I love these scenes. They're so vividly described. You'd totally buy a ticket to their show if you could. It has lyrical writing, it has great shifts in point of view throughout, and a great climax that it steadily builds up to. So Thistlefoot is a novel that'll live rent-free in your imagination for a number of reasons. There you have it, 6 books I've read that feature demonic and angelic characters. Let me know what books in this category I need to read next, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Happy reading.